Talking to other people is widely treated as a basic human skill, something that should come naturally if intentions are good and emotions are managed. When communication fails, people tend to assume there is a personal flaw involved, a lack of empathy, intelligence, patience, or honesty. Science points in a different direction. Human communication is difficult not because individuals are defective, but because the system itself is inherently constrained. Every person experiences the world through a private nervous system. Sensations, emotions, memories, and interpretations are internally generated and inaccessible to others. Conversation requires translating this private internal state into language, tone, and gesture. That translation is a compression process. Information is lost, distorted, or simplified before it ever reaches another person. Misunderstanding is therefore not an anomaly. It is the statistically expected outcome. The difficulty increases because humans rely heavily on social constructs when they communicate. Concepts like respect, intention, anger, truth, or normal behavior are not physical entities. They are shared approximations shaped by culture, upbringing, trauma, and biology. Two people can use the same word while referring to different internal meanings. When this happens, disagreement often feels like hostility even when neither party intends harm. What looks like conflict is frequently a mismatch between internal models rather than a moral failure. Cognitive systems further complicate communication by prioritizing speed over accuracy. Human brains evolved to make rapid judgments about threat, status, and intent. This leads people to infer tone from minimal information, fill gaps with assumptions, and react emotionally before verifying meaning. These shortcuts are efficient for survival but unreliable for nuanced conversation. The result is that people often respond to what they think was meant rather than what was actually said. Emotions intensify this problem. Emotional states are not designed to transmit information clearly. They are control states that shift attention, memory, and behavior. Anger, fear, and shame alter how language is produced and interpreted. Two people may believe they are discussing facts while their nervous systems are responding to perceived danger, loss of control, or social threat. This disconnect makes conversations feel personal even when the topic itself is abstract or technical. Because of these constraints, advice like communicate better or just listen more offers little practical value. Such guidance ignores the structural limits of language, differences in emotional regulation, and variations in background assumptions. Expecting seamless understanding between people with different internal models is similar to expecting incompatible systems to synchronize without a shared protocol. Moral pressure does not solve a technical problem. Repeated communication failure often leads to isolation. People begin to believe they are bad at explaining themselves, that no one listens, or that something about them is excessive or wrong. This conclusion is understandable, but not supported by evidence. What is usually happening is systemic friction. Some individuals feel this friction more intensely, especially those who think abstractly, notice inconsistencies, or experience emotions strongly. Their difficulty is not a defect. It is an increased sensitivity to the limits of the system. Science suggests that improvement does not come from perfect communication, but from better error correction. Slowing conversations, making assumptions explicit, clarifying definitions, and separating emotional states from factual claims can reduce misunderstanding. These steps do not eliminate conflict, but they acknowledge reality rather than denying it. Talking to people is hard because humans are operating with different internal models while treating language as if it were precise. Once this is understood, confusion, anger, and loneliness begin to look less like personal failure and more like the natural consequences of complex systems trying to coordinate.